Yeah, I think Eamon Javers has some more color from the White House on this brewing rivalry. Eamon.
Yeah, Sarah, that's right. This is a behind-the-scenes rivalry that's now exploding into public view between Elon Musk and Peter Navarro, two very different wings of the Trump administration internally.
Yeah, Elon Musk is calling Navarro a moron, dumber than a sack of bricks. The girlies are fighting, but Elon is already out of favor in the Trump White House, so good luck to him. Good luck to Elon. Oh, God, it's amazing. It's amazing that it's like falling away. It's falling apart in spectacular fashion.
To now have a reaction to all this from Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary. I just spoke to her a couple of moments ago. Her reaction to the statement from Elon Musk calling Peter Navarro truly a moron and dumber than a sack of bricks is whatever. We are the most
For the record, like, I'm not doing the China is going to collapse tomorrow memes, but for America. Like, that's not what I'm saying either. This is going to be a long and drawn out process. Okay? That's not the argument here either. Like, I'm not doing the America is collapsing tomorrow memes like the reverse USAID funded YouTuber pipeline. I do, however, think that there is some comparisons between the USSR and the collapse of the USSR and the collapse of American empire a little bit. It is also a self-inflicted wound, accelerated by outside forces, certainly in the case of USSR. And in our circumstance, the outside forces are not outside forces at all, but internal forces, something that we have actually worked at the behest of, our government has worked at the behest of, which is capital interests. Unchecked power for capital owners have caused unlimited greed, has destroyed American manufacturing capabilities and labor power. Labor power is supposed to breathe life back into the welfare state that breathes life back into the capitalist system and offers it a lifeline. The contradictions become too severe to ignore, and America starts recognizing that they've lost the plot over the course of the past couple of decades, where a command economy can come in and absolutely dominate them in the global marketplace, develop themselves, and become a competent, competitive superpower. And now they are trying to stop the bleeding to the best of their ability. But because of our endless greed and because of our defensive capitalism and our interest in the maintenance of capitalism, we do not have the tools to actually fight back against this. We do not have the tools to rather rebuild the system. Because if America turned into China overnight, in terms of his policies, in terms of his interests, and America, let's say, started using its corporate structure and make corporations work at the behest of the government and at the behest of the citizenry, rather than the corporations dominating the government, where the government serves the corporations, as is the case here in the United States of America. Maybe then, in the next decade, America could become a more competitive country and potentially put like 50 to 100 extra years on its global dominance, right? But they're not doing that because the only tool we have is a hammer. And if the only tool you have is a hammer, you're going to break stuff. And that's precisely what Donald Trump is doing right now.
Transparent administration.
You'd get more views if you were more racist. More racist implies I'm decently racist, but I need to increase the racism dial more.
In history, expressing our disagreements in public. So clearly the attitude from the president and from the White House more broadly is, sort of a boys will be boys attitude here that you get from that particular statement from Caroline Leavitt, that these two people disagree, they're disagreeing in public, and the president is getting a range of views in terms of all the inputs as he considers where to go with this trade war, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, to David's point, like Navarro took a shot at Musk on the air in response to a shot, I think, that was taken at him. One of them is a CEO that operates a business that does a lot of business in China and around the world. And the other is a hawk on trade. So right. I think it represents, how a lot of CEOs are feeling what Musk is channeling.
And the question is, from Trump's perspective, is which of these two people does Donald Trump trust more? Is going to be a longer-term player in the Trump orbit, has been a longer-term player in the Trump orbit, And I would just point out to you that Peter Navarro literally went to jail last year to politically protect Donald Trump.
That's his guy, bro. That is his guy. He is the Fedayeen, okay? Trump, what? Aren't you avidly anti-Semite? Is that not enough for chatters? That's funny. Let me tell you something. Peter Navarro is a loyal soldier. And Trump also agrees with him. Trump agrees with him on the tariff. He thinks Peter Navarro is bold, brave, and a future-minded person. Have you seen the market rebound? Yeah, it rebound from this. Let me tell you, okay? It's deep red again.
Elon Musk hasn't done that. Elon Musk has been here for a couple of months. He's been very close to the president over those couple of months. But the Navarro relationship with Trump is longer standing.
Yeah, I know. This is what caused him. This is why Elon called Peter Navarro a moron. The girlies are fighting. This is what Navarro said. Also known as Peter Navarro, also known by the anagram fake name, what was it? Ron Vera. Okay, that's right. Peter Navarro, also known as Ron Vera. Very famous analyst Ron Vera, okay? Heavily featured in all of Peter Navarro's books as a China expert. I'm, of course, referencing Elon called Navarro R-wordo. Wait, what? R-wordo?
When it comes to tariffs and trade, we all understand in the White House, and the American people understand, that Elon's...
He called him, what, retordo? What the f***? He said Peter retardo? What the f***? Dude! Bro! You're 60 years old! What are you doing? This is the wealthiest man, one of the most powerful individuals on the planet, dude. Holy moly. Holy Toledo. Yeah. Dog 3 and Retardio has hit the timeline. A new coin. A new Retardio coin is coming out, okay? A new cryptocurrency. This time, Peter Retardio. Retordo, or whatever the f it's called. This is so ridiculous, dude.
A car manufacturer, but he's not a car manufacturer. He's a car assembler in many cases. If you go to his Texas plant, a good part of the engines that he gets, which in the EV case is the batteries, come from Japan and come from China. The electronics.
I'm not going to lie. This is the first time it's been kind of funny, but because of how stupid it is, okay? Like just so deeply unserious that a 60-year-old man is saying this. That's crazy. That's like, what are we doing? This is so insanely childish, dude. Oh my God. The most powerful man in the world who can't get past Act 1 in Path of Exile 2 and must pay a Chinese peasant. Also, before people get mad at Elon, I mean, he literally is neurodivergent, okay? It's his word. He likes to use it a little too much, but it is his word, okay? What am I supposed to do as as an outsider looking in? What am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? This guy, I can't tell him not to say it. He has the pass, okay?
Come from Taiwan. The tires come. What we want, and the difference is in our thinking and Elon's on this, is that we want the tires made in Akron. We want the transmissions made in Indianapolis. We want the engines made in Flint and Saginaw, and we want the cars manufactured here. It's like this business model where...
Bro, if I hit 127 on the autism test, Elon probably broke the scale, okay? Calm down.
BMW and Mercedes come in to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and have us assemble German engines and Austrian transmissions. That doesn't work for America. It's bad for our economics. It's bad for our national security. We want them to come here. And with Elon, it's fine. He's a car man. He's a car person. That's what he does. And he wants the cheap foreign parts, and we understand that. But we want him home. We want him home for our national security and economic security.
You just said he's never been actually diagnosed. His mother just said he was autistic, and everyone believes her. Brother, come on. Are we really doing this right now? Like you're disputing whether or not Elon Musk is autistic. This is the level that we got to. Like, I get it. a lot of chatters are neurodivergent, autistic themselves. They don't want to have that brand association with Elon Musk. I get it. Okay. Totally understand why you would be fighting this battle, but this is a lost battle. Okay. It's one of those things where it's like, it's not, you can keep trying to fight on that hill, but it's not worth dying on that hill. My man is omega autistic. Okay. He is very, very neurodivergent. Like you can't act in that way. Like he's not Sheldon. Okay. He is not capable of behaving in that way as in a fake fashion.
And everything's good with Elon. Yeah.
He's also sociopathic on top of that, certainly, but he's to say that he's not like neurodivergent is crazy. All right, let's keep going.
And more deeply loyal.
So that was the reason why Elon Musk said Navarro's a truly moron. What he says here is demonstrably false.
Then the Elon Musk relationship with Trump is, even though the Elon Musk relationship has been so dramatically.
I do love this, by the way, because the girlies are fighting very publicly. The economy is collapsing very publicly. And in the process, the White House will just like, they'll come up with a statement like a mean girl. They're like, whatever, we're the most transparent administration in history, expressing our disagreements in public. It's actually cool that we are an administrative state in complete disarray. It's fine. Whatever. It's actually making America great. Awesome.
Public over the past couple of months, and we've seen all these pictures of Elon and the president together. That is a relatively new relationship. So if you're Donald Trump, who do you listen to more intently there? Is it Musk or is it Navarro? Of course, Trump has enormous respect for Musk, his history of building companies, and his wealth as well.
And his wealth and the money that has obviously been contributed to both support his campaign and other Republicans around the country as well.
Yes.
Eamon, everybody I have spoken to, again, close to Musk indicates that when you see the two together, you really, not many get to fly on the helicopter to Air Force One, but Musk does. I don't know if you've heard the same, but they, because you're always looking for that. I've been asking, well, aren't they going to at some point end up fighting with each other? And the answer has been uniformly no. Not if you see them together. So I'd be very curious as well. Eamon's point is a good one in terms of if there is somebody to side with, which way do you go here?
But it all is happening, of course, Eamon, at the same time, as we've been saying, where it seems as if the Navarro hardline camp is maybe in a little bit of retreat or sideline for the moment. And, yesterday he had an op-ed says no negotiations. And by the end of the day, all we're talking about is negotiations.
Yeah, exactly. And the White House saying, well, at the time Navarro wrote that statement, that was the operating principle here at the White House. And maybe that's shifted a little bit. Clearly over the past, I would say, 12, not quite 24 hours, the Navarro wing has been a little bit in retreat here at the White House. Navarro on CNBC yesterday morning saying, this is not a negotiation, laying out a vision of tariffs as more of a permanent economic state of affairs. Then you had
Trump is not very loyal to his friends. He's not known for that, but he is loyal to one thing, and that is the almighty dollar. Anybody that puts it in his pockets, he will serve, okay? He will be a servile little piggy to you, okay? He will. And Elon clearly has a lot of it and is willing to give a lot of it, okay? He's spending a lot. So I would say this is a match made in heaven. That's the only thing that's kept him around, regardless of his major L's here.
The Treasury Secretary putting out this statement that he was negotiating with the Chinese at the president's direction, indicating that it very much is a negotiation. And the president sort of waffling on all this in the Oval Office, saying, you know what, it can be both. It can be both a negotiation and a permanent state of affairs. And so I think this goes back to, this discussion last week in the market of, whether or not April 2nd would be a clearing event for the markets and we would now get certainty. Clearly this is going to be an ongoing process. There are going to be negotiations. There are going to be levers pulled by this White House. Things are going to fluctuate up and down. And that will, my guess is, just my analysis and nothing more than that, is that will last throughout the president's term because the president likes tariffs. He likes the unilateral control. He likes the ability of the tariffs to force countries and companies to come to the Oval Office and offer him deals. You heard Scott Besson talking about, we'll see what these other countries have to offer. The president sees that as him being in the driver's seat economically and then being able to carve out a deal in each case that's best for American workers. And they're very much focused here on workers, not on markets.
Well, they are being transparent, even when they're fighing, to Levitt's point. That's happening.
Yep.
More palace intrigue, I guess. Thank you, Eamon Jabbers.
You bet.
I think one of the funniest parts about this, by the way, within the conservative media sphere, is that the more these guys hit this note, the more they make the economy scream, the more Fox News and all of the adjacent, like, independent right-wing content creators as well that get their notes from the admin, that try to run defense for the admin, focus on random irrelevant like trans people. Okay? I think it will get to a point where even the dumbest of our citizens will start recognizing that maybe it's not time to talk about trans people. Okay? Maybe it's time to talk about the economy a little bit and how much their 401ks have gotten punished in the process, or what will happen to prices due to the ways in which this administration is moving, due to the tariffs that they're slapping onto everything. Okay? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because while this is what's going on, here's Joe Weisenthal dunking on David Sachs saying Black Monday hoax is over because the market rebounded. Turns out, not that much. Markets peaked exactly 20 minutes later. Jim Cramer, better watch out. There's a new anti-Provident town, says Craig Herring.